About our Eastern South Africa highlights 2 birding and wildlife safari. This is an awesome little itinerary. It's one of my South African favorites. I've done it, guided it myself dozens of times. Really packs a lot into a relatively small area and a relatively short period of time. 8 nights on the go, so it's not a long holiday, but what you see in that time is just phenomenal. So we start off in Johannesburg. We'll pick you up there, preferably early morning flight, and we get on the road. We spend part of our first day at Rietvlei Nature Reserve, not far from the airport, where you can start getting into the new birds and quite nice variety of wildlife as well. And then we carry on to Dullstroom, where we spend a night in the Mpumalanga Highlands. Endemic birding is the name of the game here. Up in the high altitude grasslands, we'll explore Verloren Nature Reserve. Lots of great birds to be seen: southern bald ibis, blue crane, Denham's bustard, eastern long-billed lark, secretary bird, Cape vulture. Yeah, some cracking birds in a very different habitat to what we'll experience further along, and that's the name of this tour. The name of this tour is Habitat Diversity. So moving on from there, we stop off at Mount Sheba in the montane forests for some forest birding. Can be tricky, but very rewarding. Some cracking birds to be seen, such as Narina trogon, Neisner turco, white-starred robin, orange ground thrush, lemon dove, Cape batis, grey cuckoo shrike, all typical South African forest species. So after a night there, we carry on through to the Blyde River Canyon on the edge of the northern Drakensberg escarpment. Very scenic area, beautiful canyons and valleys and rock formations. We have a night there. Usually do so in the early morning. We have a lovely walk in the reserve grounds, very productive and beautiful scenery. From there we go through to possibly the highlight of the tour, which is obviously Kruger National Park. We start off with 2 nights at Satara in the Basalt Plains in the south central part of the park. One of the top game viewing areas, nice open country, a lot of high carrying capacity for your big grazers and stuff, so therefore also high carrying capacity for predators. And some great birds, your classic African savanna species: rollers, bee-eaters, starlings, sunbirds, raptors, incredible range of raptors. Just phenomenal number and diversity of birds. And from there down to Skakuza on the Sabi River for another 2 nights. A little bit different habitat to Satara, much more well wooded, of course on the river as well. So a new suite of birds to be seen as well: turacos, bush shrikes, some water associated birds like Goliath, heron, black crake, maybe even African finfoot with a bit of luck. And from there we end off with a night at Pretoriuskorp in the broadleaf woodland. Again, different habitats, a slightly different range of birds. And that's our last night. Next morning we'll have a final game drive and head back to Johannesburg, stopping off at some pans or shallow bodies of water on the way to put some water birds, ducks and stuff on the list, and then ending up at the back of the airport with 300 plus species of birds. I think the record's gone close to 350 over that tour. So a great little tour, definitely worth it, and a wonderful introduction to South Africa.